The Texans and the Bills, man, it is a star-studded showdown. There's a bunch of big-time players on both teams, but a lot of times it's a role player that comes through in the clutch for a team. Who Better Ball, presented by my friends at BetUS. Role players, non-stars, they got to have good performances to get their team over the top. And over at BetUS right now, you can try out BetUS with the code YouTube150. That's right, YouTube150 gets you a 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Who Better Ball? Let's start with the Texans defender. This is a big Jaylen Petri game. Jaylen Petri has got to have an excellent game from that slot cornerback slash extra linebacker slash, it's just Jaylen Petri's position is really what it is. This is a Buffalo Bills team that is down their best receiver. Their best receiver, Khalil Shakir, is an inside slot guy, and he's not playing. So that's going to mean Curtis Samuel is filling in for him, and that's going to mean a lot of usage of those two tight ends that the Buffalo Bills have, Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. Jaylen Petri has got to be on his P's and Q's and take care of business when those three guys are out there and he has the opportunity to defend them. He's got the agility and the speed to overwhelm Kincaid and Knox, but he can't handle them physically all the time. And then he can handle Curtis Samuel. I'm not super worried about it, but we have seen teams go at Jaylen Petri a few times in the past couple of weeks. I do wonder if Buffalo's going to organize some things there for him as well. Oh, by the way, Josh Allen's one of the best scramblers in football when it comes to the quarterback position, and he can run really well. He's a big guy. Petri's going to have to make some plays in this one. If Petri balls out, has a superstar game, the Texans are going to win this one. I'm not even worried about it, but how likely is that? It's going to be tough for Petri to have a superstar game, but he's got to ball out and have a big one if the Texans want to get a win. Let's flip over to the Bills defense, a player that's got to be excellent for them, Christian Benford. And you're saying to yourself, Cody, who the hell is Christian Benford? I'd never heard of him. Yeah, you probably haven't heard of him. He's a sixth-round pick out of Villanova from a couple of years ago. But he's the best cornerback on the Buffalo Bills. He's playing excellent to start this year. Quarterbacks have a passer rating under 47 when they target Benford. Now, Benford, he's got a tough job, whether it's Tank Dell on the outside, whether it's Nico Collins, whether it's Stefon Diggs. Benford's got to be excellent for the Buffalo Bills. He's got to win his one-on-one matchup more often than not, because if he's on Nico Collins and they got to put a little extra attention over there on Nico Collins, well, that opens things up for Stefon Diggs and Tank Dell, and the Bills will have a problem on their hands defensively. And if he can win one-on-one against Nico, keep him from having a huge game like basically Nico Collins always has, it feels like for the Texans at this point, that goes a long way into slowing down this Texans offense. It's going to need to be in the air to move the rock consistently in this one. They're going to need to be in the air. The Bills are going to need to be in the air. I know I just talked about two defenders, but I love the over in this one. And over at BetUS, you can wager on this. So many different ways to get into it. I love the over in this one. 55 to win 50. It's that easy. It's that easy to get a 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Use the code YouTube150. So many different ways to get in on this when it comes to BetUS. Like maybe you want to get in on some Stefon Diggs props in the rematch, the revenge. It's not a rematch because it's the first time he's playing the Bills on the Texans, but the revenge game. Maybe you want to get in on that at BetUS. YouTube 150 is the code to get that 150% bonus on your first deposit up to $2,000. Sticking with the Bills, I just talked about him on offense. Curtis Samuel has got to ball out for this Bills team. He's replacing Khalil Shakir, their top receiver. Shakir's the top receiver. He's the top yardage guy. He's got the most receiving touchdowns. He makes the most big plays. He's the essential part to what they do on offense from that slot wide receiver spot. And I got to assume with him out, Curtis Samuel is the one-for-one replacement for Shakir. And if Samuel is excellent and the Bills don't miss a beat, they're going to win this football game. They're going to score a bunch of points and they're going to beat the Houston Texans. But if Samuel can't get it done from that spot, and it makes the Bills offense a little disjointed, then you could sort of see how the Texans are going to be rolling and take care of business against this Bills team. if Curtis Samuel doesn't fill in well for Khalil Shakir in this matchup. So big time player, Khalil Shakir, out for the Buffalo Bills. Curtis Samuel's got to be a good replacement for him if the Bills want to move the ball through the air. They can move the ball on the ground, okay? They can't move the ball through the air as easily if they're missing the production out of that slot wide receiver spot. Speaking of big-time players missing, no Joe Mixon in this one. So who better ball for the Texans on offense? How about whoever the running back is? Whoever it is, I don't anticipate that Dameon Pierce is going to play. He's only had one practice since the hamstring injury. He looked pretty good in the of practice that he did have, but I don't anticipate that Pierce is going to play in this one. So Cam Akers or Dare Ogunbowale or J.J. Taylor or maybe even British Brooks, though it feels like they view him a lot more as a fullback. But whoever the running back is has got to be good with the ball in their hands. I think we've seen through the 2.5 weeks without Joe Mixon, this offense can't run the ball effectively or consistently unless Joe Mixon is in there. In the past 2 games, 32 carries, just over 100 yards. That ain't good enough. 2.25 yards per carry. That ain't good enough. They can't survive when the yards per carry, I did my math wrong. 3.2 yards per carry on that. So 3.2 yards per carry, you can't survive as an offense when you can't get some consistency. So whoever has the ball in their hands has to ball out for the Texans to win this one. They don't have to be an amazing running back. They don't have to be Joe Mixon week 1 against Indianapolis, but do something when you have the ball in your hands. Make something happen when you get the opportunity. It doesn't matter if it's Akers or Ogunbowale or J.J. Taylor or whoever is running the football. Whoever is running the ball for the Texans has to do well, or the Texans are not going to be able to win this football game. So what say you? Who better ball for you in this matchup? I got Jaylen Petri and whoever the running back is for the Texans, Christian Benford and Curtis Samuel for the Buffalo Bills. Who's your player who better ball in this matchup? Let me know in the comment section down below. On your way down there, throw me a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And don't forget to visit with our friends at BetUS who powered this video. 150% bonus up to $2,000 on your first deposit when you use the code YouTube150. That's YouTube150 is the code. Appreciate you watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're having a fantastic weekend. Can't wait to see you at the stadium for H-Town Blue, the debut of the new jerseys on Sunday. And if I don't see you on the stadium, I'll see you right here on YouTube after the game to break it down. So don't miss that as well. Appreciate you watching.